I am a strong believer in the fluidity of creativity and problem solving across our lives. If it wasn't for drawing parallels and unlikely experimental juxtapositions, our aha moments would not come to fruition. It is these sparks and intuitions that drive my energy and passion for all design fields. Let me start off by confessing I am not a trained architect or an urban planner. I'm originally a graphic designer with formal education from OCAD University. Do you see the sign? We call this a typographic crime. Rivers of white created by loose word spacing and proportionately tight leading. What does this do for the reader? We don't know which word to read next. Yes, I can let the graphic designer, typography expert in me ramble on. However, as an interdisciplinary problem solver who challenges definitions of design, I cannot just focus on this minuscule issue. I'm a big enthusiast of urban spaces, just like many downtown dwellers invested in their communities. What other trained graphic designer would be up here speaking to you about our next generation holistic urban spaces? I did have a diverse career before starting my own design company, which led me to working on physical experiences, spatial planning, interior, and mural projects. One of the key aspects of interdisciplinary design is the unification in a strategic way, telling a story and deepening it through every aspect of the experience. This empathetic, detail-oriented process is often done through branding. Of equal importance, I believe that in a world of interconnected ideas, our communal spaces deserve to be treated with the same amount of care and attention. Growing up in Eastern Europe, public spaces were our backyards. This is where you could meet up with friends, bump into strangers, where you could spend an hour or a full day. The only limit of what you could do was your imagination. At the moment, there's an affordability crisis sweeping across our urban hubs. High-rise living has become a norm, and increasingly densifying cities are in dire need of unique, memorable, animated public spaces to engage people of all ages. Furthermore, public parks are, just like decades ago in Eastern Europe, once again, our communal backyards. They should be treated with the community's interest in mind. We want to believe we're a design-driven society, and when it comes to some visual areas, we are. Illustrative crafts, handmade graphics, color combinations, products, even ads. Many of us sure seem to have an eye for appreciating design and even exploring it some more. But what happened to creativity and imagination in these aspects of our lives? We sure don't seem to be design-driven when thinking about these public spaces. We are purpose-driven, maybe. Cost-conscious, probably. But are these spaces attracting us, bringing us joy, drawing us in? Such spaces shape our everyday, and this is rather uninspiring. This is why I want to invite you to see our neighborhoods as if you were a child again. Play should not be a practice concept for children only, but adults and seniors alike. Full engagement will help us reach a whole new level of inclusion. Public spaces should inspire us, bring us a sense of play, drive exploration, encourage change of social perspective. I believe this is the only way to build stronger communities and promote healthier lifestyles. To spark my interest, I read the Toronto Tower Renewal Report from 2012. I know municipal reports aren't known for being too exciting, one of those 10-point type, dense paragraphs, some documentary style shots. But this one hit a 10 out of 10 excitement level for me. I was enthusiastic to learn what has been said about Toronto's priorities and plans to improve our communal spaces. I then wanted to explore and analyze some of the examples of outdoor public spaces around the world which inspire me. Ones that I want to live next to, be part of, and spend time in. I look to formulate how we can learn from them and what elements are there lightening up our curiosity and excitement in life. I came up with 5 main factors and categories which I think define our next generation holistic urban spaces. Creating a unique looking space as a landmark is not only visually pleasing for all passers-by, but the space also integrates itself into our minds and we start referring to it with names. Although such monumental sculptures often have the secondary purpose of denoting history and giving back to the city, I think some hold an extra special value when the creator didn't dictate the name, or oftentimes people make one up anyway. Such moments of delight give people a chance to experiment and interpret. For example, little circular yellow seats by a fountain in the main square of Plovdiv, Bulgaria, locals call cheesies. Everyone knows where you're meeting when that's mentioned. Having an artistic sculpture or landmark is one thing, but ensuring that it appeals to more than just one sense, visual that is, adds another level of connection. Yes, seating is an easy one to go to, as many objects are quickly adapted by humans for sitting, but the flow created around the space adds a new dynamic. It could invite strangers to partake in a social scene to try a different activity. Playgrounds have swings, slides, climbing bars. Should I go on? Seating should not be the staple activity for adults. Perhaps one of the keystone projects to kickstart my passion for urban spaces was Valencia's Gulliver Playground, where teenagers and adults, alongside kids, explore the body of the fallen giant. By inviting people to try a new activity, it shifts their perspective, changes people's attitudes, and opens up their mind, taking them away from their reality, allowing them to act in a new way. Even if for a few seconds, it's enlightening and refreshing. When a space engages us with various natural elements, it connects with us on a raw, natural level. Healing landscapes, water trickling, green canopies, light wind chimes, blooming cherries, butterfly bushes, birds singing, these subtle elements connect us and awaken us. Perhaps it's our primal instinct of being in greenery and branches that can give us a sense of comfort and relaxation. Plus, many people find the sound of trickling water and light wind to be therapeutic. When I'm back in Sofia, Bulgaria's capital, a city hidden between mountains, there's nothing more exciting and adventure inspiring than seeing the gorgeous landscape in the background of the city streets. It evokes a sense of safety, as if giants are overseeing us and keeping us from danger. Although not all cities are lucky to be situated on diverse landscapes, I know that for many of us, seeing flat blue water is calming and inspiring. The Toronto Water Revitalization Development has plenty to offer by embracing our natural element, the lake. And so I should note that many man-made environments can evoke these feelings in us all the same. Next, I must talk about inclusivity. Many of our public spaces are children-centric. Some go as far as banning any unaccompanied adults. Can you imagine? It seems like the most exciting part of an adult and senior's life is a bench. Such assumptions sure don't encourage active lifestyles, community building, or random encounters. For example, my grandma dreads walking and has nothing to look forward to. The most exciting parts of her walk are a few porches on the way and one well-landscaped front lawn. I know that there is an energy and unity which comes when there's a stimulating place for everyone. I was lucky to stumble across the Luxembourg Gardens on my first day visiting Paris. There was music in the gardens, sunbathing areas, cafes, long bowling, mini boat races in the water, historic sculptures to discover all around, and of course, playgrounds for children of all ages. It's beautiful to feel that everyone is welcome, a family can go together, split up, meet up later on, and no one's going to feel bored or unwanted. By building on the need for inclusivity and engaging everyone, one of the results is creating a sense of community and belonging. By connecting people, we build stronger, safer neighborhoods and cities. People feel invested in where they live, and that changes the way they act. In creating unordinary experiences which draw people of all ages by being a landmark, encouraging them to interact, and touching them on an emotional level, the sense of togetherness and communal spirit will be born. I also think we should encourage vendors to help animate the spaces. Cafes and shops provide us that excuse to enjoy the spaces. We meet up for ice cream or coffee, or perhaps we stop to enjoy our favorite snack, and so we end up partaking in the public sphere. Furthermore, I should note that a big part here is programming and culture which has evolved around the spaces. Tai Chi classes, musical performances, favorite food stands. Other people are sometimes the main reason to come back to a space. There is strength in each of these factors, but when the five of them come together to interplay, I believe something magical happens. This experience touches us on another level and has the power to change our perspective, open up our minds, wake up that 5-year-old in us. I was looking for ways to apply my theory, and so I wanted to share with you what I've come up with. My love for Toronto, plus a lifelong professional passion for typography, inspired me to create this concept. Have you ever wandered away from reading a boring book and just enjoyed looking at the letters? But what if these letters came out from the pages and switched scale with us? Big and small are two words I used here to create an inclusive space for adults and kids alike. As I kept on seeing adults and parents sitting on the sidelines while their kids partake in the social scene, I realized that they should be given the opportunity to be active, engage with others. The graphic designer in me was further intrigued as I saw this opportunity to make connection with visual identity and branding. I decided to take action and create a concept for public spaces by picking priority neighborhoods in the city of Toronto. For the most part, these are areas which have high crime rates, cheaper rent, and fenced up uninviting spaces all around the apartment buildings. Although my focus here was to almost brand the neighborhood and create a lively hub, these could be taglines just the same. I have yet to engage companies like IKEA or Adobe or Google with this idea, as their brand values might fit with such a concept for public spaces seamlessly. Speaking of IKEA, one more concept I created came from a conversation with a friend and fellow designer with whom we spoke about the need for public spaces to be able to adapt and change, not only to changing demographics and interests, but also events and seasons. I was excited about the challenge as Toronto has hot summers and icy winters, and let me tell you, I'm one of those weirdos that loves all seasons, especially winter. Anyway, this modular approach with loose letter theme was another one I was kicking around for some time and I wanted to share with you. With the growth of urban areas and real estate prices off the hook, the few urban social spaces we have should be top-notch and engaging on all levels. There is no opportunity for mediocrity left. Some of you may say that it's not in our culture to have such liberal wild spaces, but is it not through environments that culture evolves? Aren't social change and norms driven by encouraged behaviors? Do we not want spaces which inspire us, shift our perspective? Or do we want ones with just basic activities that define our everyday enthusiasm about life? We should think of outdoor spaces, gardens, parkettes, holistically and strategically, as they are playgrounds for everyone, catalyzers for relationships and behaviors, ecosystems made for us to exist, to flourish, and bloom in.